Hey, this is Brian with SIT Strings, telling all you guitar players and bass players to go to your local independent music stores and pick up your sets today.
Alrighty, welcome to the Unheard Scene podcast number 2. We are with Brian Trembly of Kria Diaz.
Yes.
Once again, we are in the wonderful Freddie DeMarco studios. I'm here, Freddie's here, Matt's here, and Jeffrey's with us today.
All the time.
Getting a little razzing before the show started, which maybe we should have had on the air because that would have been funny, but whatever. So, Brian, how are you today?
Living the dream, baby. How are you guys?
Not bad, not bad.
Yes.
Doing all right, just hanging in one day at a time.
Far up.
So you're in Kria Diaz. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the band?
Kria Diaz is a project that Dave Felton, he's the gravy of Mushroom Head. This is a project that he has put together just as a side thing. Give him an opportunity to shine a little bit more as a guitar player, as a solo guy, because Mushroom Head keeps him kind of refined to just riffs and grooves and things like that. It doesn't really let him do a lot of the shredding that he's very capable of doing. So a couple years ago, we got a hold of me. Emery Seo is our drummer. Mike Ruz is singing, and obviously Dave Felton on guitar. And
Is Dave somebody you've known for a while, or how did you...
Many years. Back in the day, I was in a band called Spawn, and that was me, John Capri, Jeff Currington, and Ed Moore was singing for that. So we did several records then. So we did a lot of opening acts for Mushroom Head, back in the day. Like big, it was gracious of them to let us play in front of their crowd like that. And then just hanging out with Dave, doing that, getting grub-ons at Mongolian barbecue and doing a lot of that kind of shit.
It's all over food.
It is. I mean,
Big guy over there knows about food.
Right?
So do I.
There's the little man in here.
Yeah. So, just from hanging out in the scene for the last, 15 years, I guess, or better.
Wow.
And then from Spawn into 13 Faces. 13 Faces was another band that I did. It was me and John Capri as well. And Jeff Currington. We just got a new singer and changed the name of the band to 13
Hey,
Faces.
Brian, why don't you tell us a little, you mentioned John Capri a couple times. He's a good friend of mine as well. I met him through you, and he's done a lot for the Cleveland music scene through Ripper Owens' band as well as with your band. Tell us a little about him, maybe.
Capri, guitar player extraordinaire at your service, I suspect. Were those supposed to shut off like that?
Yeah, it's a timed monitor.
All right,
shut off on us, but we're still on air. Don't worry.
So, yeah.
You just do it. We'll do the technical stuff. You just stick to the.
I'll
the
drink.
metal. You bring us some metal.
I just drink for you. So John, he got. From 13 Faces, John got hired by Tim Owens, former singer for Priest, to do an act called Beyond Fear, which are now doing their second record, I believe.
So this is after him with Ripper with Priest, or before?
Post Priest. Yeah. Not long after either. I mean, Tim, he's another cat that we go back real far with. He produced all the Spawn records for us, and it was real gracious letting us.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was real gracious to let us play with when I think it was his first tour with Priest, and they came through Cleveland. He set it up so that Spawn was the only band on the bill with them, so we got to just open up for Priest at a packed house. The Cleveland Gorth, oh my God.
That's cool.
It was out of hand.
I grew up in Cleveland, and back when I was doing like more shred metal guitar, it was different then. I kind of got out of that and got more into blues and stuff, and then this whole other scene evolved that was like a post-'80s metal scene, and you were more in that.
Right.
And it's amazing the brotherhood and the camaraderie between it even reaches down to Akron. So because wasn't John originally an Akron guy?
All of us were, yeah.
And he was pulled in. Now you guys really are out of more of a Cleveland scene now for sure.
Right.
Which is an international scene essentially when it comes to the Cleveland metal scene, right?
For sure,
But overseas though, aren't a lot of the Cleveland, like the guys that play in certain bands are playing in the second band? Wasn't there a band 216? There were some guys from another band
I've heard
as well.
of
216.
To get across to the listening audience, that Cleveland has a really big interaction.
I heard Winter's Bane was one of them bands that went overseas.
I actually.
That was, I don't know if that was with Ripper or...
I filled in on a show real quick. Let me mention this. I filled in on a show called Total Extreme Sports a long time ago. And we interviewed a metal band, and he told me, he says, I'm doing nothing here, but overseas I'm making tons of money and I'm touring like crazy. So, that's
kind of classic USA's. Every band will say that.
Right.
That that has like remote success. I mean, a lot of the guys.
We're big in Japan.
We're big in Japan. We're big
because they're all short, so it's easy to
right. That's right.
You come over, you're a little bit taller. They're afraid. Buy the record.
Hey, read my record. Read my record now. Go home.
I should talk about short. You should see yesterday rehearsal. The mic stand. Everyone else's mic stands about 3 feet over my head. My mic stands like 2 feet under everybody else.
Yeah.
So I should be the last person making the short jokes. But carry on, Brian. It's the wine.
No,
This is getting offensive.
I mean, it's just kind
the
of
shortest guy in
the
the
short
room.
one in the room here.
The little guy.
This is too offensive.
Jeffrey decided to join us for this episode, guys. So
I didn't decide. Papa made me.
So you're not going to stick around for an autograph from Brian? That's an inside joke, and I'm going to interrupt everything and just tell this joke so you guys get a little picture of Brian. Brian essentially looks like a rock god. He's got like hair that looks like a cape going down. It looks like a Rob Zombie look or something. I don't know. Tats everywhere. Rock bass player extraordinaire. When I saw he and John Capri playing that trio for the first time, I didn't know Brian. I walked in Ron's Crossroads, and these guys had like these top hats on or something, and their hair, it looks the same. John's a blonde version of Brian. They're about the same size and all this, and these guys just met. It was like a freak show. I never heard of them before, and I really didn't at the time. To be honest with you, follow Spawns, and it's like, oh my God, this was awesome. I mean, really, they had not just the playing, the feel, but this whole persona. So Brian and I, we became friends, and I met him in the studio and all that, and actually one thing led to another, and we became roommates. But don't now. Let's not take that too far. We both are into women. We
know the roommate situation.
Okay, so,
yeah, one bed. Remember the other interview with everybody 8 guys topless in one bed? Is that where we're going?
No spooning, none of that. But I'll tell you what, he did give massages, and he gave people over there moaning and groaning.
I'm going back to the Red Sun Rising. I'm out.
No, he's a physical therapist, and he'd do massages on the side. I would leave the house. But we lived across this place called the Gorge. It's old Indian trails and stuff, and we'd you can catch us in there probably every day. We're doing our thing. So Brian's looking. I just explained that we're walking up, and there's a couple gentlemen and a youngster. I'd say that kid must have been 8 years old.
Might have been, yeah.
About your size, anyhow.
I'm 10.
I know, but he's about your size. All right, I'm sorry.
I know I'm short. You don't have to rub it
No,
in.
you're not short. I don't think you're short. You're just boy.
Yeah, look at him. He's short.
Yeah, look at me.
You're still growing.
But
Yeah, but you're not the one down here right now.
Anyhow, we're on these trails, and this 2 guys, probably an uncle and a father, and a young kid was there, and he came up to both of us, and the kid just looks up at Brian like he's out of a Harry Potter movie. He goes, "Wow, are you cool?" He says, "Can I have your autograph?" So when I made that autograph joke, that was an inside joke referring to that. Every time I see Brian, I ask him, he's got writer's cramp.
Wow.
That's why I saw the video. You didn't have the hat on. Your hair was all over the place.
Stage prop.
Yeah,
Stage prop.
Gotcha.
It's the. I forget where we left off.
We were on that Cleveland metal scene, talking about some of the local guys that you've played with, and
what was his name? John.
Capri was one of them.
Yeah, he got into with Beyond Fear with Tim. So Tim, has a successful run in Judas Priest. It was great, But I think it was just kind of one of those things where everybody kind of knew, could read between the lines that reunion tours make so much fucking money.
All right, don't worry about it, man.
I hear it from my mom all the time.
Reunion tours make so much money that it was probably just a matter of time before they were going to get Halford back and do the whole thing again.
Her husband's worse.
But so he started Beyond Fear. Well, while he was in Priest, he made all of his contacts.
Yeah.
So he comes back to Ohio and does the honorable thing. He grabs a handful of guys that have earned it or that he felt were worthy of doing something substantial.
Right.
So they do Beyond Fear. Now Beyond Fear, goes all over the globe and plays shows. It's not. It's not like a tour per se. Like one weekend they'll flip down to Mexico. One weekend they'll flip over to.
But did that take part in breaking up the band you were in, Spawn, when Johnny had so many commitments to move on, or was that breaking up anyways? And
Spawn was broken up, kind of getting put on the back burner because we started getting to a level of success to where I think I forget the guy's name. The creator of the comic book, okay, that guy. McFarlane?
What comic book?
The Spawn comic book.
The Spawn comic book.
Yeah, so we didn't realize that there was a comic when we made the name.
Right.
We had no idea. We're not comic book junkies or.
Oh, come on, you look like a comic geek.
I was going to say, you don't look like a comic book geek to me.
He does! Look at him!
Or action figure kind of things. But we started getting to a level of success where we got a letter in the mail from the attorney saying, change your name or we're going to sue you.
Oh,
wow.
So we changed the name to M21. Well, it all kind of, when it rains, it pours. So right. At that point, when that happened, Ed, our singer, was already kind of going into different. We were going heavier. Ed didn't want to go heavier. Ed, he's a big fan of melody. We'd take it and throw it out the window.
Yeah, no one listens to the words anyways.
Yeah, it's just undecipherable mumbo jumbo. Is he mad? Yeah, cool.
It's all about,
It's all about the bass.
And. So they, so we transitioned from that into 13 Faces, or into with Rob. We got Rob from Runt, which is also a Cleveland band that had Dave playing guitar and Emery, our drummer.
Dave Felton from Mushroom.
Correct.
All right, so now we're starting to connect again with
Right.
these guys. Yeah,
Right.
so the interweave up there's something.
So Dave played in Runt, and Emery, our drummer for Kria Diaz, played in Runt as well. So. When when Mushroomhead would tour, Dave couldn't do a Runt show. John would fill in. Well, who was his first take on bass? Me. So I'd fill in.
Right.
So now Runt is a whole different band,
right.
other than Rob Runt, who is actually a Runt.
He's another short guy.
He's another short guy.
He's like, well, that's what we get. Well, that's what we get for not having video. The look on Jeffrey's face was priceless.
And you'll probably end up being taller than all of us.
He just just to let you know, Jeffrey just looked at Brian like, what?
Why is everybody looking at me?
But it's really cool the history and stuff. But we'll come back to it. Let's jump into the present. This Kria Diaz deal. I understand you're making a new album right as we speak. Now Dave's out with Mushroomhead now, and the album's in mix stages. How's that working? Does Dave approve mixes? How far
Absolutely.
Are you?
He's on the road now. When he comes back in, he'll listen to the new mix. Mark what he likes, discard what he doesn't like, change this, change that.
Oh, you're the bass player, right?
Right. Smack my hands with a ruler, send me back to the woodshed. You need to practice that part. What are you doing? Dave approves the mixes, and once it's all done, ultimately, again with that weaving thing, we're bringing Capri in on it. So he's going to assist with the final mix because. We're doing it at the studio called the Wednesday Room, is the name of the studio.
Very cool.
But the kid that's doing it, he's got a real savvy grasp on the microphones, placement, and certain things. I mean, he's real good at that kind of stuff. However, mixing a band that comes from the roots that we come from, he just doesn't know. You see what I'm saying? So he's mixing it new metal style,
Gotcha.
and he's
bringing in some expert veteran guys in the field.
Exactly.
What's happening.
Right? It's like because my question to him, was the classic question. Do you like? I mean, he's a 25-year-old kid, 26-year-old kid. Do you listen to a lot of Sabbath, Van Halen, Crowbar, Clutch? All these Pantera, Testament, all these guys. You listen to all that stuff? No, not really. Well, how are you going to capture the essence of what this band is? Because that's where we come from.
That's hard to deal with.
You know what I'm saying?
But you like his engineering skills, though.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's just getting John in there, who's mixed other bands and done some other real records.
Give the kid a bunch of CDs and tell him to go do some homework.
Right. Right.
Well, I mean, now, do you have...
But he's perfect for the job.
So you have some mixes that aren't mastered yet. Would you allow us...
Nothing's mastered.
So you got some rough mixes, but would you mind if we please spun one here?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
What are we going to hear in a minute here?
There's 2 tracks I brought you. One's called Wake Us.
Let's do that first, Wake Us. So we'll listen to Wake Us by Kria Diaz featuring Brian Trembly here in the studio.
On the intro.
He's in the intro.
Bass player gets an intro.
That's why you picked that one.
Yes, play me the best tune. Of course, it's the one we're not going for best tunes. We're just arbitrarily picking some stuff. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah,
okay.
They're all pretty good.
All right, man. So we're going to spin this tune, and you guys get your ears. You're the first to get your ears on this Kria Diaz stuff, and we hope Mr. Felton doesn't get off the road and come after us with the newsie, because he probably doesn't know we're doing this, right?
He knows.
Oh, he knows?
He knows.
Very cool.
But I got a really funny story I'll tell you about him when we come back.
Can't wait, because I got a story with him as well. All right, so here we go with some Kria Diaz.
Wake Us. We're still here in studio with Brian Trembly.
Yes.
And I guess there's a funny story that you teased before break or before the song. So
I just got a phone call from Dave, and he called to get some of my therapy advice because Mushroomhead, it was their first show of their tour. I don't know, Dave, don't get upset at me telling the story, but I got it.
The band is gonna break up, or at least the bassist needs a new job.
He called. And I could hear it in his voice. He's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" I'm like, "What's the matter with you?" He's like, "Dude, I got a question." Like, what'd you do, man? He's like, I bit it." "You did what?" "I fell down."
Uh-oh.
"You did?" I'm thinking he might have slipped on some ice or something like that.
Now, just to clarify, you're a physical therapist before you joined
sports medicine training.
Okay, so he's
Anthony
calling.
Tried to do that.
So he's getting advice from someone that's kind of in the field. Here's what's
Correct.
happening. Okay, just
right.
getting that straight.
So he was in the field. Now I'm just metal.
Yeah, I get it. You're all metal, baby. Sorry. Don't insult the metal.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, don't insult metal with education. You crazy?
That's why he plays bass.
Yeah.
He's good with his hands.
The first show of the tour. Now, if anybody's ever seen a Mushroom Head show, they have these big water drums that they put up front center stage.
I saw them once. It was last year, I think it was. It was a Rotorfest.
Okay, right on. So they have lights that shoot up through the drum, right? And then the water. So when they hit it, it's kind of like the Blue Man effect. You know, when they hit it, it's that kind of a vibe, right? Well, when there's no drummers on them, you know, they kind of utilize the lights as like they'll lean over them and the light will light them up from underneath as they look out, right? So he goes up to get up on that goddamn thing. Up on the thing, and
It's okay.
well, I don't know if it's okay for the radio.
That's okay. We're good. Just go.
Okay. So he goes to get on the thing. Well, he falls. While he's in the middle of a tune, in the middle in front of all the people.
Wow.
Well, he goes to catch himself. His hand goes down through the drum. And so now he's shoulder deep in the big orchestra drum.
Tell me there's video of this.
Hanging off the one.
Tell me there's video of this.
Oh, what's that?
Tell me there's video of
I am
it.
going to go
my
home
God.
and
Somebody's
type
gotta
into YouTube gravy falling.
I already did it, and I didn't find nothing.
Hey, dude, watch your mouth. That was a double negative. But anyway.
And so he's finishing up they're finishing up their last 3 weeks of their tour in a significant amount of pain.
Wow.
So he's
What was your advice to him as a specialist or an ex-specialist?
Anti-inflammatories. Try to move his ergonomically correct as possible. Good body mechanics and
Don't fall on stage.
don't fall on
Don't
stage.
do that again.
Yeah.
No dirty women, huh?
Yeah. No, all the pelvic thrusting will have to take a.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ah.
I got a little story too, and I mean, not to make this the Dave Felton show, but just I think something should come up. We were kind of tie this in with you were talking about the brotherhood up in the Cleveland metal scene and all that. I had a studio in Lorain, Bottom Line Records, and long story short, I keep all my guitars stacked up. I think there are about 7 cases, and I had one that was kind of precious to me. It was a 7-string, a Steve I model, but it was like the 300th one made. And I just, one day...
Like the monkey grip thing?
No, that's a gem. This was a 7, so that's a 6-string. The 7-string was just after that.
I got it.
But they were rare, and when you get in the first press of them, sometimes you get some special ones. And this was a special one. You could just tell, comparing them to other ones I've seen in stores. And at the time I bought it, it was rare anyways. Steve I had a Passion and Warfare album. I want to say it came around about 89, 90, somewhere in there. And this was featured on that. And I bought it shortly after that when I was on the road. And it meant a lot to me. I just arbitrarily decided to look in that case. I just wanted to look at the guitar. And it was about 4 cases deep. When you try to open a case with 4 other cases, it's kind of...
Peek at it.
And I didn't give up. I just kept going, and I looked, and there was no guitar in there.
Oh, you're kidding.
Long story short, we had a guy working the front desk of the studio that this guy he got caught taking a Ford Bronco up to Detroit, and he traded it for a rock of crack cocaine. So we didn't know this, but this is who we're dealing with. I found this out shortly after, and I put the word out on this guitar. I wasn't going to find it anywhere. I got a call from Dave Felton, who we never really broke bread together ever. He just knew of me. Of course, I knew of him. And he called up and he said, I understand why you're missing a guitar. And he went in to buy this guitar. He loved it. It was in a music store, so this guy pawned it to a music store. And he said the guy was keeping it in the music store behind
in a glass case or something?
Well, just away from people. Maybe he knew it was hot. I don't know. I can't remember the total story. But the idea was Dave just asked me to describe a couple things or a couple stress cracks, but I remember the serial number, which is a 300 one made, which just makes it valuable.
Yeah.
And, Dave could have taken that guitar easily. Because he was a big 7-string player, and that extra low string, you get down in the metal thing, and he's cutting edge on that back in the day. So he retrieved that guitar for me, and he went out of his way to do it.
Wow.
And
what state was it in? Or
it was in Cleveland. I was in Lorain. This would have made it to somewhere closer. It's still on the west side of Cleveland. I don't know exactly the shop it was in, and we kind of kept all the innocent people confidential, even between us. I just wanted my guitar back.
Yeah.
And interesting story turned out when we went to court. Some detectives came up and say, we'd like you to not press charges because they had other plans for this guy to get him involved in a bust in Detroit or something. So I cooperated, got the guitar back, and that's thanks to Dave Felton. So definitely a righteous cat. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
Good story.
Sounds like a good dude.
So
that's the brotherhood of the the metal scene.
It's thick.
It's thick. That's cool.
I mean, I really wasn't in that scene or played in that style band. Just that, a musician to a musician was more what that was. Just showing the character of the cat,
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to hearing the rest of the record. That song was smoking, man. That's
yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and we'll hear another one. And I got another topic maybe we can talk to him about after the song.
Okay, sounds great. This song, what is the song, Brian?
The Rebuilding.
The Rebuilding. Okay,
Yes.
some more Kria Diaz, The Rebuilding. Let's check it out. Guys got an earful of that one, I hope. I want to say something here. Brian has had so much intense success on his bass and in metal that he just doesn't know what to do with his time. So what he's offered to do is offer his services to a local company called SIT Strings. Now, he doesn't need to work a job because he's such a flaming rock star.
Flaming?
Flaming? That's gotta be flaming. That's awesome.
Did you light a match or something?
You'll get that later.
You'll grow up
When
a
you're
little
tall,
and go,
You'll get
oh!
No, see, now you blew it. I was trying to set up something where people say he's got to be joking now. No, but honestly, Brian actually works with SIT, Stay in Tune Strings, out of Akron, Ohio, actually. And Virgil Lace started this company, a great guitar builder.
1971.
There you go. And they have some special things they do to their strings that reinforce them to stay in tune. We appreciate Brian and SIT helping sponsor the show here.
Yep. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And he's always. They are another one that does a lot for local musicians as well as international musicians.
That's what I was going to ask. Do they international as well?
Oh man, there's 60-something countries, I guess, total.
So it's not just international. It's
international. When I started at SIT, I didn't even realize there was as many countries as there are. I mean, I'm serious.
Right.
I mean,
where were you in geography class?
Man, sleeping.
Sleeping, he's a rock star.
I missed it.
Sleeping.
I was out of school, so I wouldn't know.
That's right. That's funny. Yeah, no, I mean, it's all over the place. But with artists the same way. Endorse, he's from. We just got Will Adler from Lamb of God. We have John Moyer from Disturbed, the bass player for Disturbed. The Shinedown guys, Stone Temple Pilots.
Wow.
Rammstein. Signature sets.
So STP plays SIT. There's a slogan.
STP
So
plays
you gotta
SIT.
hire me over there.
And from what I'm learning, do you use them, Freddie?
Oh yeah, I use them on my basses and guitars.
There you go. Freddie uses them. See.
Another cool thing they do for those players out there, they're looking for strings. Some of the guitars I have are nylon strings, and these guys make a rare string, which is a ball end nylon. What that means is you don't have to tie it up like a classical and get all involved. There's some, so it'll be about two whole people out there that know what I'm talking about.
I was going to say, what would be the difference between a regular string playing
convenience. But convenience. The rock guys that like to dabble in nylon string is classical.
Pro or not pro?
Yeah, yeah.
That is the question.
Is that how I'm going to roll it? Still get me started. Okay, it'd be like a couple lawyers in here going.
He didn't know countries, but now we're doing poetry.
But no, they just do some really cool things that not all the companies do, and their strings. Yeah, I play the electric strings acoustic, the nylons, and the bass strings, and they're quite awesome. What I find for you players out there, it's I do not have tuning problems. I have two SGs that I go nuts with at night playing in an AC/DC tribute band. I don't have to tune the guitars all set long, literally not have to tune them, and that's important when you're doing those kind of acts.
Sure.
Also, it seems to me, I don't know if this is an intent by you guys, Brian, but it seems to me that they sound the same sound that they have when you put them on. Like they don't get old as quick. It seems like I can keep that. I just noticed that. A week later, they still sound the same.
Cool.
They're resilient strings. They last a while. You can get. I mean, pros are getting, like, out of a set of bass, probably 4 shows is what they're comfortable with before they feel like their tonal qualities.
Now, when you say pro shows, you're talking someone doing an opening set for 40 minutes or a headliner for an hour and a half. You're not talking the working musician doing 5 sets a night, though.
Right. No, I'm saying guys are playing like 2.5 hour shows solid on one set of strings.
4 of those bass.
4 shows out of that set, right.
Cool.
More than that if they rotate their instruments for tuning, things of that. A lot of guys will, rotate their instruments through just one's in B, one's in C, one's in drop D, whatever, song calls for.
You got, how many different basses that you take with you just to play one show?
Me personally, I take 2.
There you go.
But we stay in
different tunes. And
we stay in the same tuning.
Guitar.
One's the primary, one's a backup. So the one never even gets really taken out of the case.
But the guitarist usually takes a lot of different guitars with him.
He takes 2.
Just 2? Really?
Yeah. That whole taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guitars is just really over. It's too much.
I've seen a lot of players that
bands that the guitar still high.
It looks good on. It looks good on stage. You know,
it looks
who's swinging
good
the
on
bigger?
stage.
Who's swinging the bigger nut? You know.
Yeah.
That's
kind of
a guitarist like I saw when I worked with WMMS. I went and saw Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and he came out to sound check, and they had these massive racks. He must have had 50 guitars on stage, and he was just pulling one here, one there, one here. One. It's like, are you kidding me? That's a lot of guitars.
See how often they use them.
Well, there's different reasons. For example, the Zeppelin tribute band Zoso, which tours nationally, he has probably 8 guitars, but Jimmy Page had different tunings on certain guitars and some odd tunings where it wasn't just dropping one string. And to keep the show flowing, he actually needs that. But
Instead of stopping to retune the guitar
With
for
Kenny Wayne Shepherd,
exactly.
where he changes so much and they have so many different styles, it's just easier to grab another one.
That probably, and another thing is some guys will tune down. You know, like I know Hendrix, Stevie Ray, early Van Halen, they would tune down a half step. So you could still play your riffs using open strings, but that helps the vocalist a lot.
Right.
So if he had some albums where he was tuning down like Vaughn did, being that style player, maybe that singer wants to still sing those tuned down, so he has to grab a guitar for that.
Right.
And then the standard tuning, you know, he'll have a separate guitar, probably is what's happening there.
Cool.
All in the conversation.
What else do you want to know about SITs?
How do you get a hold of them?
Anything in
Yeah, how do they get an SIT?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably edit this section out.
Yeah.
We'll look for this. We have to remember to look for this.
Yeah. All right. And then we'll start up with how would somebody go about getting an SIT string?
SIT strings are available in every independent mom and pop kind of music store. We purposely stay out of Guitar Centers, Walmart's, Best Buys,
Right.
box stores like that. Now you'll see some stuff on Musician's Friend, but that's not the the SIT claim to fame like they do like the extra B&E in a couple of their sets. They give you 2 free extra strings. Those sets you're not going to find online.
And why is that? Is that to help the independent dealer so they can offer a brand of string that Guitar Center doesn't offer? Is that the reason for that? To help a smaller business?
Yeah, to help small business as a whole, just because SIT still is a small business.
No. I mean the actual storefront. The guy with the smaller store, it seems to me that if you have all the ma and pa stores with SIT, but yet you're keeping SIT out of Guitar Center, tells me that you're making an effort to help the smaller store.
That's exactly
offer
what it
something
is.
that GC doesn't.
Exactly what it is. Because they're putting all of them out of business. You know, so if we can give you a killer string that you can only get at a mom and pop shop, you know, where not only are you getting, you know, people that know what the guitar is made out of, what the strings are made out of, what kind of hardware you're using, what kind of, you know, all the ins and outs of the instrument you're buying.
Right.
You're getting, you know, good customer care. You're getting, you know, it's good loyalty.
Just besides, how many of them mom and pop shops? They
You know,
just
it's like
they just need the money. I mean,
right.
help them out.
You know, you go into.
They know their stuff
You
too.
go into like a Guitar Center, and it's riddled with kids in their 20s that just think it's cool to work there. Can't answer anything about the instruments. I probably shouldn't say that, should I? That's just the way it is.
So we could forget about that Guitar Center sponsorship.
Yeah.
now.
I think we're shot now on that.
Thank you, Brian. You want to come on next week's show too?
I'll tell you.
These metal guys, he could do some damage. I'll tell you that. No, but honestly, Brian, it is pretty amazing how you've been in these bands. You kept with it this long. You're in the selling end of it, the manufacturing end of it. Supporting different ends of the music, and I could relate to that being so saturated in something. What do you do for fun?
Ooh, look at the look on his face. Oh crap!
Well, he's got something in his hand that might be appreciated.
Well, we better clarify that.
Wait.
Well, that's exactly where I was going.
Wait, hang on. Well, first off, Jeffrey, I think he does that as part of his music too.
Yeah, they're talking about a beer. That's
Yes,
what's in
he's
his
got
hand.
a beer in his hand.
Little does he know what he said.
That's hilarious.
He'll grow up one of these days and go, what?
Oh, I think he knows.
For fun, I mean, just play more just play more instruments, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, I know. It's like your hobbies, your profession.
Yeah.
Bass is the only thing you play, or do you dabble in guitar? Do you dabble in drums?
I was before I played bass, I was a guitar player for 8 years. I played in this cover band. Oh, it was awful. Oh my god.
Okay, spit it out.
It was my
who'd you
god. We did
Milli Vanilli, right?
nah, we did just dumb stuff like Weezer and
I like Weezer.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
I have a glow in the dark
What are you
there's
shirt.
saying, Brian?
there's a Urge Overkill tune. Remember that tune, Sister Havana?
Yeah.
We did that. We did some Judas Priest. Just a typical cover band.
Yeah, okay.
You know, rock and roll bar cover band. And then we had a couple originals that were just awful, just so awful. I know.
I have a glow in the dark.
Oh, it was so bad. I mean, these guys. I mean, they weren't afraid. I was never really in the music scene is the guy that was going to wear the freaking makeup, and I'm not putting on bandanas, and I'm not painting my nails, and I'm not wearing bullet belts and
At
all
least
that.
not in public.
But you have 1,000 tattoos.
The bedroom's a different
But I have
story.
tattoos. Tattoos aren't makeup on my face making me look like a chick now, is it?
No.
You know what I'm saying? And these guys weren't afraid to do that. So they actually, before the show, I come out, growl, no shaved,
That's what I saw in the video.
You could have
weren't
shaved.
shaving or anything.
Could have shaved for what? I'm playing rock and roll over here.
Yeah.
Oh, so there was some pretty boy.
Oh,
They
yeah,
wanted him to
dude.
shave, and he wanted to look metal.
I was just
Guys,
it wasn't.
we need to stop
It wasn't that I
talking about
wanted to look
Justin Bieber.
metal. I was just metal's just all about doing what you want to do.
Right,
I
it's
suspect
being who you are, right.
Did you guys just hear
You
what
know?
Jeffrey said?
We need to stop talking about Justin Bieber.
Who's that?
You are metal, so.
That's a good question. We won't get into that.
The worst singer.
So they wear the silk shirt and unbutton it, halfway down. I'm like,
Yeah.
Right? Why?
that's
That kind of band doesn't need that kind of.
They're trying to put on. They're
yeah,
trying
they-
to put on something that they're not.
It was
when you
bad.
play music, you got to be who you are.
yeah.
Justin
So I didn't
Bieber.
fit in the band, and that was actually the band that Capri saw me playing guitar and
Wow.
pulled me out of that, saved my life.
See?
Anthony,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I've gone and seen shows. Where
Oh, my
there's
God.
bands that they come out on the stage in a suit and tie and they're playing metal.
I've looked at them. I'm like, just get off the stage.
Yeah. Why are you coming
Don't
out in
even
a suit and
try.
tie for playing metal? Seriously.
Well, some guys, wear suit ties. Some guys wear, wristbands. Some guys, just don't wear makeup. I guess.
I don't see it as a suit and tie as a metal thing, though.
It's better than makeup.
Yeah, it's
course,
better than
then-
makeup.
Of course, then you got Paul from Fisticuff who wears the Hawaiian shirts, and that's kind of cool. But that's
Look,
another
man,
story.
that dude does not look anything like you would expect him to look.
He got up there and started singing, and me and Matt went,
What?
"What?"
I don't know if you've ever heard of Fisticuff.
Oh yeah.
He does not look anything like. Are they even still together?
Yeah.
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 Cool.
I don't know if they're or not. I talked
Last I heard, they
with
were.
John.
Of course,
and-
last I heard, they actually played my cousin's New Year's Eve.
That guy Pat, their drummer Pat Garrett. Him and I went to high school together. And he actually, he was an interim drummer in Spawn on the record for round 2.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he.
Yeah, I liked them. They had good.
It's small world after all. It's small.
See, it all comes around. He knows people. Freddie knows people. It just all comes around.
That's why I stopped screwing people over a long time ago.
Hurry back.
Anyway. Alrighty, well, I think you got any more? We go ahead and wrap this up and
I feel
Plug
like
your band's MySpace,
Facebook, whatever
website.
places to get a hold of you.
We don't have a gay book.
You don't have a gay book?
No.
Yeah, website?
I have one.
No.
No website?
No.
Wow.
None of it.
So how, if some of the listening audience here wants to catch some more of what's going on with you guys, people falling into
If they
pedal
want-
drums and stuff, like how would they do that?
At this point, just hit me up on Facebook. Just look me up, Brian Trembly, on Facebook. and I'll
does
just
have
put
them.
you to where. Well, I do. Yeah, the band.
I mean, we can go to YouTube, right? I think I saw some.
Yeah,
Kria Diaz
there's some Kria Diaz stuff on YouTube for sure.
Some live footage.
Yeah,
Some
for
of the
sure.
stuff's real early on, I want to say, too.
There was there's one show, like the first show, what was it, like 09? I think it was. I just got home from doing the whole summer NAMM burn. And it was like it was a Sunday night show, so it was like from NAMM straight to the stage.
Wow.
Meet them, eyes on fire.
For those of you that don't know NAMM, National Association of Music Merchants, it's a huge trade show that we take part in, and it's grueling. It's like a marathon. It's like your finals week. It's
I was
like,
just going to say, NAMM burn
Super
sounds
Bowl.
like another story.
Yeah, and to come off that and go right to a show. I mean, when you come off NAMM, you would love to just be, I don't care how metal you are, you would love to just be in a quiet room and not hear the nonsense. It's every music retailer and is there, and all the manufacturers and vendors are there. So it's just invention, music talk, listening to people wanking all day.
Thank you for clarifying that, because I was thinking NAMM burn.
Ear.
NAMM burn, I guess. Yeah.
Ear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brian, we thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And wish you the best of luck at Kria Diaz. And goodbye for now.
See ya.
That works.
Hey, this is Brian Trembly here with Kria Diaz, getting heavy metal on the Unheard scene.
Alrighty, and welcome out to the Ripper Owens Tap House. We are out here to check out the Killer Is Me show. A lot of things have happened. We now have a new sponsor, Balls Energy Drink, and SIT Strings. Also with us today, since Freddie's off playing Rockstar somewhere in Cleveland, we have Rick Morris from the FDH Lounge.
Little co-production here tonight, Anthony.
Yeah, this show will also come up on Ricky's
Yeah.
channel as well. So
Yep.
we got
the FDH Lounge. Yep.
two things going on here. So you want some balls? What kind of balls?
What kind of balls do
We got cherry, we got
going with that one.
regular, and this is sugar-free.
Sugar-free.
Sugar-free. Okay, we're passing off the sugar.
I'm not touching that with it.
It's also got more
caffeine.
Anthony's always had an affinity for balls.
We're passing off the sugar-free balls. So
Yeah.
Obviously not sweaty balls.
boy, this is all new. So
I want to be in the corner doing this. So many guys around here be talking about balls.
yeah, I'm sitting in a corner with 5, 6 guys. Wow. Okay. So with us, holding the microphone on the other side is Dave Hershey. He's in Killer Is Me. Dave, you want to tell us a little bit about the band?
Well, it was something that kind of started as an accident. I was out playing a gig one night, and I just loved the Unplugged album by Alice in Chains, and it's very moving. It'll set you into a mood, and it's something you can just sit and chill to, kind of like, like Steely Dan or something like that. But ran into a couple guys here. Let me get a little closer here. Sorry, you'll have to increase that one.
No problem.
Ran into a couple guys and said, hey, we kind of started the idea and said, hey, let's see where it goes. And later we ended Randy and Tony Donatelli, who used to play with them Bones. And it's just taken off from there, and it's doing really well so far.
So is that all you do, is play acoustic sets? Do you do electric, or?
We do the electric too. Stick around.
Okay.
Stick around. You're here tonight.
A little bit of a tease. Stick around.
Hey,
He's got
just
balls.
It's just like, yeah, exactly.
I got the rum. I got the balls. I got the stage presence.
And after that, he owes me a shot.
Are you guys pretty much strictly limiting it to that era, or like, for example, there's talk about a new album supposed to come out next year, possibly. If that's something that seems to fit in with the sound of some of the older stuff, are you open to incorporating that?
Oh, we do the full spectrum of Alice in
Gotcha.
Chains. In fact, tonight you'll hear Your Decision and Check My Brain off
Okay.
the latest. Yes.
Excellent. Get to hear it all then.
Cool. I'm a big fan of the acoustic. That's why I'm kind of excited. I was like, acoustics, it's fun, just hearing the guitars.
Well,
Yeah.
we figure we start you out. We open up for ourselves with the acoustic.
Mm-hmm.
Get you all set in and comfortable and ready to
kind of rock, and then take a little break and bang your heads out with the electric and get ready to rock. Big
Nice.
time then.
And hopefully you have some hearing left after we're done.
No guarantees.
Hearing is overrated anyway, right?
Yeah, it is.
We just had that
It's like sleep.
So, what are Dave and Randy? Both of you can answer this. What are some of your backgrounds, like other bands you've been in, that led you kind of this way?
Well, I was in another Alice in Chains and Godsmack tribute band called Smack Alice, and I was the original bass player to Dark Side of the Moon, doing Pink Floyd tribute. And been in a bunch of cover bands, and I was in Mindcrime, started Mindcrime for a bit, doing a Queensryche tribute, but that didn't work out. They're on their own doing
some of those guys ought to be stopping out tonight.
Right, they're excellent band, by the way.
And Angered Orchestra. Yeah, we got a lot of good people coming
Been doing
out.
the tribute scene around here for a lot of years.
Does the name of that Alice in Chains and Godsmack tribute band, does that imply, did you ever do any mashups of them, or ever incorporate any of them together, or just pretty much separately?
Pretty much separately.
Okay.
Either Godsmack.
It was cool. It was really cool.
They're from the Warren area.
Two good heavy bands, you know, for like,
really
you go from the 90s into the new millennium, and you know, that's a really good show.
That would be really cool to mix them. Yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah.
I personally came from a little band out of Columbus called the Gods, and my time with that is kind of hazy. And I was like really actually just talking to somebody earlier and going, oh my goodness, you know, I have to sit here and think about my 5 years with the Gods, and they're asking me about 30 years ago. And I'm like, I can't even remember half the 5 years with the Gods, so it was a good time. And, you know, I've done other tribute acts, such as a Theater of Pain. It was a Motley Crue tribute, and a more well-known tribute Strutter to Kiss, and had the pleasure of meeting Gene and Paul about 5-6 times
That'd be cool.
as a result. So very, very blessed in my career.
Motley Crue tribute. That's Anthony's favorite. Anthony's favorite band is Motley Crue. He'd have loved to see that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
How long you guys been doing the Alice in Chains thing?
It's about a year now. It's kind of started thinking about it about a year ago, and then, you know, like I said, we kind of just went at it by, you know, hey, we're just kind of getting together, seeing where this is going to go, and well, you know, there's a lot of talent in this band, and it just took off, and I couldn't think of a better band because, you know, I'm old school 70s metal, 80s metal, you know, speaking of Ripper Owens Tap House, you know, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I wasn't a big fan of the Seattle grunge scene, but Alice in Chains definitely kept me going during the 90s.
Well, that's the interesting thing. I mean, in having researched a little bit about them as well as having listened to some of their stuff, they seem to kind of fight that label a little bit. You know, if you told them they were grunge, they might, I'm not going to say punch you in the face, but they might kind of take issue with that.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Alice in Chains is a rock band.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. You don't know what style they're going to come off with, so.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Stuff. Their early stuff is very dark. You know, it's kind of dark. It mixes well. The chord progressions are cool. What they do with the bass versus the guitars, you wouldn't think about it, but until you actually had to sit down and start learning it.
See, you know what, and that raises an interesting question, because I got to imagine guys like you playing in a band like this, obviously such huge fans of theirs, you guys must stay really plugged into stuff. Have you guys gotten any kind of indication of what that the album, the material that they're working on now might sound like, and any buzz about that?
I just know right now that it's confirmed for 2012.
Okay.
So we're kind of looking forward to that. And
okay.
I was really energized about all this, too. You know, after hearing Check My Brain for the first time, I was like, I know. As soon as you hear that riff, right off the bat, you know who it is. And I was like, that's out. I'm like, who? You know, people are like, who is that? And I'm like, well, the only thing I could think of would be Alice in Chains, and it was their, you know, it was their new release after many years of being stagnant. But you know, just their small little bit of repertoire that they have is very, very, you know, it was incredible that they wrote the amount of good material that they did in such a short time while Lane was still around.
Exactly.
Are they still using the material that Lane wrote?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, William Duvall now.
I mean, newer material that he.
I've been studying a lot of the new stuff and watching the newer, you know, version of Alice in Chains with William Duvall, and he's definitely got it. He's definitely got it. He commands the stage, and they were impressed. I watched an interview with Jerry Cantrell, and he said he was really impressed with the fact that he just took the bull by the horns, and just he couldn't believe that somebody that came out of nowhere could command a stage like that, and he does a great job.
Well, you never know the story of these. I mean, look at where we're sitting tonight, Ripper Owens Tap House. I mean, you never know where the next great lead singer is going to come from.
And I remember running sound years ago at Ramones in Akron, and there was this little tubby kid to come up, and he had this bowl cut kind of like an Amish, and don't tell Tim I said that, because I tell you what, and he come out, and they did Free Will Burning by Priest, and I was like, oh my goodness, who is this? And there you go. And here's what's bizarre too about the Gods thing later on is I was sitting there talking to somebody going, it was cool that Tim got into Judas Priest. He goes, and I was like joking around. I said, well, the only two bands I could probably do would be like the Gods or Kiss. And I got hired by the Gods a week later.
Nice.
So talk about speaking your own destiny, you know what I'm saying?
There you go. Wish I could do that, speak my own destiny.
Yeah, well, it hasn't worked since then, so it was a fluke, I'm pretty sure. So
Tops on the charts, here I come, damn it.
There you go, there you go.
Reach for the skies. Brain fart, lost it.
That's all right, that can be edited.
Yeah. That's all right. People don't have to hear that 20 seconds, Matt, but thanks anyways.
Here, let me hand the mic to Jeff and listen to him babble.
There is another man sitting here.
Yeah.
Come on, here.
And nobody's mentioned anything about
I'm the quiet one in the band.
You're the quiet one.
Jeff's one of our backbones there.
Well, talk a little and tell us a little bit about yourself, Jeff.
Well, actually, this is only my, second band I've ever been in. I'm the new guy, 50 years old, and I'm just now getting into this. Been playing guitar for maybe 5 years at the most. So, and I've known Dave through other associates and other guys that I've jammed with, and this is pretty much how this whole thing took off.
Okay, I figured out that question I was going to ask. It was a little slow on the brain here, sorry. But what's the more important to you guys as far as a look or the sound when you're doing a tribute band?
The sound is important. We have our own look.
I mean, we can't
We look like us.
That's good.
Well,
I'm 50 years old and going bald.
It's not like the Kiss thing. I mean, you had to sound and look like them. This is something I can't look like Jerry Cantrell. I don't have blonde hair, and or the cool guitar. So this is something that definitely we're striving to make sure that sounds as close as possible. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing a tribute to somebody, it's the ultimate respect and to that band. It's the ultimate compliment.
I've seen a lot of bands that are tribute bands, and that's what they do. They go for the look too. We saw a Van Halen one the other day. Yes,
Good band.
Freddie's brother, coincidentally.
Good band. Good band.
Yeah, that they all dressed up just like it.
But no matter what, I will always look like a Randy Stillman.
A Randy Stillman, yes.
100% original.
Absolutely. But you will, the more that we go on, the more you hear us, with the backing vocals and the guitar parts that we've got going on, the whole thing about Alice in Chains is it's a full sound, and we can create that.
Yeah, I think we say that on the website is close your eyes and after a couple songs
cool
you start going, hold on,
Yeah, probably nobody's looking more forward to the new album coming out than us. Trust me, we want to hear it and start working on it and get it out there. Start playing it.
That's a great way to start spreading it to the fans is when you guys are able to play gigs. They can hear it that way. It's an interesting thing when you guys were talking about your backgrounds before and some of the different cover bands you've been in. I mean, you don't tend to think much about the concept of like a cover band super group, but really you guys are pretty experienced in a lot of these different things.
Well, we also have Tony Donatelli from a band called Them Bones. It was another area's Alice in Chains band that they broke up after a few years, and so we were really lucky to get him. And I think Drew pretty much came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he was.
And wait till you hear this kid. Yeah,
wait
till you hear this kid. Excellent. Yeah. You're going to think Lane's back in the room.
Wow.
They even came back from the 80s. I'm originally from the Jersey Shore area.
Mm-hmm.
So I was
Jersey.
in a lot of clubs back then. In the 70s, different, cover band still, but, I mean, it was a different animal, Queen, Black Sabbath, and real good stuff like that. And most of the bands that were playing in Jersey were doing either basic rock covers or originals. That's where Springsteen and Southside Johnny's grew up in that area, playing with all those guys. I was 14. It's a little different. They were about 18.
Uh-huh.
They would go to clubs. I would have to sneak out the window and hitchhike down Route 9 to go to the clubs. Sneak in because you had to be 18 to get in, but I looked older
Right on.
than I was. So, yeah.
Figured when he was 12. Kind of like that kid on that Capital One commercial with the big.
Ow!
Hey, it was the 70s, man.
Yeah, I couldn't get away with that when I was a kid. There's no way.
That's a great time and place. Jersey Shore in the 70s, like you said, it's Springsteen and, Southside Johnny and that whole thing going on there. That must have just been incredible to have been catching some of the bands that were playing then.
Hey,
good music scene
even later on, even just a few years later, just down the road, bands like Kicks.
Yeah.
From Baltimore, man. And I got to be friends with those guys while I was in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, we were playing Rock City in Baltimore. And I look off to the side of the stage. I'm running around in 5-inch heels, with Ace Frehley makeup on. I look over, and there's 3 of the guys from Kicks going, hey, Dave, how you doing, buddy? That was cool.
And the first time I met him, he spit on me on stage.
Oh, quite by accident.
Part of the act.
Sure. Well, anything you want to share with us, Randy?
He needed to do it like Blue Man Group.
I think that was Dan.
That was Dan.
Yeah,
that was Dan, because I was about to say, that would have to be later on when I got with the Guns N' Roses tribute. Yeah. And we literally got barred from about every bar we ever played at because we actually thought we were Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spit blood at me, that's what it was.
Now, the Gods, I did get barred from a Waffle House in Columbus with the Gods.
Uh-oh.
So that was cool.
Well, that's a story of a different color.
Yeah, well, I guess they don't appreciate you writing the Gods rule in cream on the window at 3 in the morning. So,
wow.
Pretty funny stuff. We'll have to go over that maybe next time you guys come back and I talk to you about the solo stuff. We'll talk about some of those Gods times there, because that's a whole nother bird.
Mm-hmm. So when people come out to see a Killer Is Me show, do you mix it up, or is it the older stuff, then the newer stuff?
Oh, it's all mixed up.
Oh, that's cool.
You don't know what's coming next. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Have to keep it fresh.
And we do know, that Dave does not like to look at John Corabi's face while he's playing guitar.
Well, there was one too many posters next to me there. I felt like, I'm like, what are you looking at, buddy? Don't judge me. Oh my goodness. Right now I got Rudy Sarzo staring at me.
Yeah.
And a few other guys.
Staring. Holy cow.
This is a really cool little room here at the Rippers Owens house. There's
pretty sweet
guitars on the walls,
yeah.
Rippers leather coat from the Judas Priest years, and awesome stuff. Right behind you, man. I mean, come on, Dream Theater.
Looks like somebody thinks Ripper's got a nice ass. So.
Ooh.
Well, I am not commenting on that. And once again, I'm not touching up the 10-foot pole.
I'm just reading it says of all the singers I've had.
Maybe you should drink some more balls.
Best just to leave that one away. Yeah.
Right on.
We touched on a lot of the music questions, and what's funny is with this thing being a joint episode here with Anthony and Matt with the Unheard Scene, our show, FDH Lounge, nothing is off topic. So I want to go off the music for just a second here and ask you a question from having looked into some stuff with your background. Specifically, I wondered if you had any interesting stories about, I understand you've done some prison ministry work. I'm a big fan of Chuck Colson, actually. I read his book and immersed in some of that kind of stuff. That's really sweet stuff to be involved with. So just wondered if you had any, interesting, inspirational stories, whatever the case may be.
Well, a lot of the work that I've done has been through, like, the Oriana Halfway House and the Portage and Summit County jails.
Mm-hmm.
and it's bared a lot of fruit. Let's just put it that way, and it's been a real rewarding time. And actually, Jeff plays in my Christian band also, so I'm looking forward to maybe getting up there and doing that for those young guys because, everybody deserves. Everybody deserves. So
yeah. Yeah, interesting. I mean, that's very admirable stuff.
Is it easy to talk to guys when you go into prisons, or does he have a rough time getting them to hear what you're saying?
No, I think I always thought of it this way. They're gonna trust somebody that's been there and not somebody that hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, yeah. Well, speaking off the wall, there's Jeff's sense of humor. He says it's a captured audience, and well, that's like I said, that's a whole other bird, and I'm sure we can go on for a good couple hours on that one.
Right.
I would look forward to exploring that at a future time. I thought that was very interesting. I just wanted to commend you because I thought that was very great stuff to read about you.
Well, I was blessed. I came out of the Gods and left the Gods because I was signed by the Tate Music Group, and the first solo album's been a really learning experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but definitely, I'd love to go over that. And that's something we could spend 6 hours on. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. Let's do a rain check for that. I'd like to explore that. Yeah.
You guys see, just to tell you guys, the FDH Lounge that Ricky does, I'm a big fan of his work, and Ricky's a really good friend of mine. Him and I go kind of way back. There is nothing that they don't talk about.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
It's easy just to bring anything up and.
And the funny thing is, the only time we ever did a joint show with anybody, it was a previous time, us and a sports talk show, we did a joint interview with Steve Sable from NFL Films.
Right.
So
rock and roll.
You guys are in really good company. You guys are right there with Steve Sable.
Well, that rocks. Right. That rocks.
Yeah.
And I found out something today, and I'll tell you guys this. Ricky has the only interview with Steve Perry in about 15 years.
Wow.
Because I was talking with Pat. And Pat
Say that again.
Pat said he doesn't interview with people.
Wow.
And the last interview he can remember had been about 15 years.
That's you saying that, not me. I'm not going to make that claim.
No,
I know there ain't many of them.
That comes out of Pat Giswaldo, who's a pretty good friend of mine.
Surprised.
I choose to believe Pat.
Was he pretty cool, laid back.
He was, and it was a thing. I didn't even realize at the time how big this was going to be until I started seeing the YouTube comments. I asked him a Sam Cooke question because I saw that he was big on him.
Now,
I love. Well, it was interesting because Steve Perry, him and his mom both liked Sam Cooke. Same with me and my mom. So I just wanted to ask him about that. And dude starts singing like a few bars from Cupid, and it turns out like, holy crap, this is the first time he's been on tape singing in like 13 years.
Wow.
So,
right on.
Just a couple bars, but
right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that next interview, I got some stuff to tell you about, like Phil Kiggy and some guys like that.
Okay,
sweet.
Cool.
Got some real good stories. Ivory Line had the pleasure of hanging with Big Daddy Weave and a few of these bands like that. So, like I said, that's a whole different story.
We'll have to get you into Freddie's studio up there.
Yep.
Yeah,
there you go. That would rock.
Our shows with Freddie are. We just put a microphone in the room and we all sit around and talk.
Actually, Freddie and I share the same booking manager. Actually,
do you?
So,
Small world.
Small world. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoy the Alice in Chains show tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Jeffrey.
Bye, Jeffrey.
Bye, Jeff. Hey, that's my son's name. So
he says, "Stroke a furry wall, make you feel better."
Thanks very much, fellas. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.